we see coffee as a ritual. And obviously, people that want to just take coffee, go put it inside a machine and just have their quick cup of coffee in the morning, that's totally fine. We're not going to say you have to do it.
It's not like, not Marlowe!
Exactly. But, you know, for us, when somebody wants to taste the coffee and taste it the way that we think is the best, you know, we'll do a pour over, we'll do a siphon, we'll give it a treatment that gives it a little bit more flavor, more pizzazz. While as with a drip coffee, it's great, it tastes good. We've roasted the coffee, so it should taste good there. And if you take it home and roast it or drip coffee at home, that's totally fine. But it's just giving yourself a little bit different of an experience. I like doing pour overs in the morning because it's a ritual, and it's nice to have that ritual.
What's the difference between an AeroPress and pour over?
Pour over and AeroPress is that the actual coffee with an AeroPress is going to have a lot more time in contact with the actual coffee, rather than with a pour over, the water goes through the coffee a lot faster. And so you get a different flavor profile. AeroPress is going to have a little bit more of the darker flavors, while as the pour over, you're going to get a little bit more acidity from it. It's going to be a little bit lighter, and that's where you're going to taste a lot more of the fruity flavor. Every single wave follows an economic trend. So the first wave happened around 1945, or after World War II is a good way to put it. First wave is like Folgers, Maxwell, and so it's not entirely instant, but it's very mass roasted coffee. The processing methods were very, very poor. There was a large demand for coffee really quickly. There was a need to start commoditizing coffee and making it very easy to access. And then you get the second wave where, you know, Starbucks comes in, Peet's Coffee, and they're a little bit more in regards to making a coffee shop, trying to bring a little bit more quality to it. But as you start to hit mass scales, you know, you tend to lose a little bit of the actual quality because you're trying to make so much coffee for so many people. Third wave coffee is kind of following the trend of us having got to a point where we have enough time, we have enough flexibility where we can start bringing back a lot of the quality of coffee and how it was brewed before. First wave coffee kind of made it so that it was really hard for coffee farmers to make a living because, you know, it was cutting costs and getting people to make it as cheap as possible so that a large group of individuals in the United States could buy as much coffee as possible at a very cheap price. These people spend days and days out there picking coffee, and there's a method. You can do a stripper method where you just pull all of the coffee cherries off the tree. You have green beans, you have red beans, you have all these different coffees, and at the end of the day, you're just going to get something that tastes like poop because there's so many different flavors going on, and it's way too complex. And then at the end of the day, because of what you've received, you just over roast it so that it just tastes bitter. So there's a single flavor profile. But there are some farmers, it's not as much at this point as we would like, but there are a lot of farmers that will go hand pick the cherries, make sure that they are ripe before they pick them, and then they use processing methods that help to bring out a lot more of the flavors of coffee. So today you tasted a Yirgacheffe Natural, which has a lot of the fruity flavors in it. And that is allowed because, you know, you're not getting a lot of green coffee cherries inside there that result in the coffee tasting or the coffee being defective.
Any good resources for people who want to learn how to?
Specialty Coffee Association is a really good one.
Yeah.
That one's a good place to kind of just get your feet wet a little bit. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, YouTube's always good.